All right. It is 10:30 on November 20th of 2025. I'm Leslie Juby and I'm calling the agriculture meeting to order. May we have roll call, please?
Allen, Leonard,
Leonard here.
Hennessis,
Hennessis here.
Sanchez, Williams, Roth, Juby.
Be here. Did you receive any remote attendance requests? Okay, neither did I. So we'll move on. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from October 23rd, 2025?
Leonard moves for unanimous consent for the minutes of October 23rd, 2025.
Great, seeing no dissension, we'll move on to public comment. Do we have any members of the public who signed up? No? Anybody now who wants to just, no? Okay, we'll just wait for you guys to pop up. Alrighty. Moves us to item 6, our partners with our King County Farm Bureau update with Steve Arnold.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank Madam Chair. She came out and rode on a combine with our president, Dale Pitstick, and his father, Steve, on October 29th. And got to see the rewards of a bountiful harvest that unfortunately will cross the scales at the elevator at really, really low prices. And doggone it, I left it at my office. To verify that, the American Farm Bureau Federation just came out with its annual cost of Thanksgiving meal survey, and it's down 5%. So it's down for the 3rd year in a row, which we wouldn't believe as we go through the grocery store. But I think the American Farm Bureau Federation, through a survey of grocery stores across the country, found the average cost of a Thanksgiving dinner for 10 people at home is, I believe it was $54.10, which is an incredible value, and is based on the productivity of our agricultural systems. Unfortunately, sometimes that productivity works to the detriment of our farmers, and it seems to be doing that right now. And I think Mr. Kenyon could second that when he looks at the cost of production versus the returns in the marketplace right now. So we hope that's short-lived. Looking back, I believe I reported last month, but I couldn't actually verify that I attended the meeting last month. But our foundation did give away a 1948 Willys Jeep in October to Jeff Keim of West Chicago. Looking ahead, the first public thing we have coming up is on Saturday, December 13th. Our young farmers and our King County Farm Bureau Foundation will be doing a truckload of toys drive on that Saturday from 11 to 4 in the parking lot. We'll have Bay's Barbecue there to provide handheld lunches. We are doing this in conjunction with the Community Santa Project for the 2nd year in a row. So if anybody is feeling particularly charitable as they're driving down Randall Road or they're going over to Costco, we have gift boxes in our lobby. We also have tags. We also have tree tags. We have a Christmas tree in the lobby where we have tags for families, children, veterans. So if anybody would like to come and pick up a gift tag and look at the request for gifts by those individuals in the community, please feel free to come in. And while you're in the office, I've got 3 books up here. These are free books during the Christmas season while supplies last. They are donated by our foundation through a grant from the Conan Family Foundation. I believe we have 100 copies of each title. We're asking people to come into the lobby during business hours, but after business hours and on weekends, they will be in a barn-shaped little lending library on our parking lot. It's right under a windmill. So the three titles are Z Grows a Tree, Our Christmas Tree Farm, and Pick a Pine Tree. So several children's books there available. So if you have children at home, if you have grandchildren, I only brought one copy of each today, so I will leave them, and when they're gone, they're gone. But if you have children or grandchildren, feel free to stop by our office and pick up a copy. In front of them, for years, the King County Farm Bureau did fresh turkeys at Thanksgiving from Hoka Farms. And Hoka Farms closed their doors about a year and a half ago. We have found that many of the retailers in the area have found another supplier out of Wisconsin, and the name escapes me now. We decided not to continue that program with an out-of-state supplier. But what we have done is started what we hope will become a tradition of you buying your Christmas pies or your Thanksgiving pies. I'm sorry, not Christmas, from the King County Farm Bureau. And I've got order forms up here for different types of fruit pies, pecan pies, French silk, that kind of thing, that we will have delivered to our office 2 days before Thanksgiving. So if you're not looking forward to baking pies, we will offer you an alternative. Looking ahead, in about 2 weeks, 3 delegates and 3 alternates from our association will go to Chicago to vote on policy resolutions of the Illinois Farm Bureau, and to elect people to lead that statewide association. Is probably going to be the most contentious annual meeting in 100 years. So a lot of people are interested in attending, and that's largely because of the leadership elections. I'm here to promote. So I don't know much about the politics behind that, nor about the policy resolutions. Those will be voted on by the farmers, but it should be an interesting meeting in Chicago the first week of December. A few other things. Well, first of all, I'll tell you, I have 2 positions open on my staff. So if you know anybody that wants to work in the world of agriculture, have them get in touch with me as soon as possible. We're looking for an engagement director, and we're looking for a development and ag literacy coordinator on our staff. A few other things, the Illinois Farm Bureau offers rural development grants. The County of Kane has submitted an application, is my understanding, Janice Hill and Austin Powell. And that application is for electric vehicle charging stations in rural Kane County. I believe that one is proposed for the library in Sugar Grove and one in Elburn. The Illinois Farm Bureau, the deadline for those grants is December 1. And they should learn within 30 days whether or not the Illinois Farm Bureau will help with those EV charging stations. I have something on here about Soil and Water Conservation District, but I'll let Kat cover that because I see she's in the audience. In February, our Kane County Farm Bureau Foundation will be conducting its 25th shopping spree for local food pantries. We will ask Chairman Juby to be a participant in that event. And we are looking for a second participant. And quite honestly, if anyone else from the Agriculture Committee would like to, I don't know whether the proper word is participate with or compete with your chair, we would be very interested in doing that, getting local government representation for 2026. We have scheduled a couple events for 2026 for our not-for-profit foundation. Our annual Touch a Tractor program will be April 10th through the 12th. We had a very successful drawdown on Sunday of this week at Elburn Lions Park as a a fundraiser and a community get together. And I think that we will repeat that again in early September of 2026. We have acquired a truck for our annual vintage truck raffle, and we will be giving that away this year on September 19th at the Big Rock Plowing Match. I believe it's our 20th annual raffle, and it's their 133rd annual plowing match. So we've got a long ways to go to catch up with the Big Rock Plowing Match. And the last note, I'm having trouble reading on my notes, is that we are looking forward to working with the University of Illinois Extension, who I believe has a long-term goal for the research farm at Route 38 and Peck Road, which belonged to the University of Illinois for years and years. And they have a longer-term goal of possessing that property. And we think that's a very good idea. We were sorry to see it pass out of the university's hands. That was the last research plots of the university for fruit and vegetable research in Illinois. And that's particularly important in this part of the state. From our perspective as the Kane County Farm Bureau, we also see it as a way to possibly take advantage of annual grants, nutrient loss reduction grants, pollinator grants, another type of grants through the Illinois Farm Bureau, and obviously through ComEd and others, where we could have a single location to try out new, whether it's tillage practices or whether it's nutrient loss reduction. It would be nice to be able to do these in one location. The King County Farm Bureau has gotten grants from the Illinois Farm Bureau in the past. In 2018, we used a grant for a nutrient loss reduction project on one of the forest preserves on Silver Glen Road. In 2022, we got a grant to install a pollinator garden on Randall Road. But looking ahead, we think it would be really nice if these research and demonstration projects could be located at one location. So that concludes my report.
Well, that was a lot. No, it's okay. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? No? Bill?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to nominate Bill Roth to compete against you. I know he did a great job last year, and I think he's the most qualified person to compete against you. And it would be bipartisan then, Democrat and Republican.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can't take that line. That's the line I said for
Ted,
Bill to do it.
Ted did use that line. I give him credit for that.
Wow. I was kind of hoping for all your help so I could win. Actually, I'm hoping to be able to be at this one. So nobody breathe on me until the end of February. All right. Any more questions, comments? There's a lot coming up. So I hope I got everything, Steve. I hope I wrote everything down. If you have like a little, oh, it's all in there? Oh, okay. Oh, I wish I'd known that before I was writing it all down. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Kane DuPage Soil and Water Conservation District. Kat, you are up.
Good morning. Let's see if we can get close enough here. Okay, first I want to say the district completely agrees with the Farm Bureau about the research farm for University of Extension. We also have registered our support for that and are really excited about the opportunities there. If you've had a chance to go up to Libertyville, the Farm Foundation's educational center that they opened a year ago, 2 years ago. It is a fabulous facility and it has that similar kind of vibe of a place to go to do demonstrations, to do education, to do research. It's fabulous. So if we can template some of that, I think that would be terrific for the county as a whole.
Madam Chair, I did have a
Yes.
question. How many acres are there?
At the research farm, I don't know. Do you know? I know the Park District has got some space right next door.
I am not sure what size that parcel was at the time that it was sold. My understanding is that the park district owns a portion of what was formerly the research farm. And I don't know if the city of St. Charles has title to the remainder, where the extension now has an idea garden, but I do know it's not in the university's possession, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beyond that, a couple things that I had sent in. I was not actually expecting to be able to be here today because our land use council meeting was a conflict and it did get canceled. The shutdown kind of threw everything in disarray. So I was not expecting to be here. So I had sent this to Matt to share around. Just to let you know, we had 3 inquiries referred over to the IDOA portal for the CPRG no-till grant. So we'll see what comes back from that. We have the Kane County Farm Weatherization rebate in progress right now. We have set up a separate checking account, so we keep the funds from commingling with our own. And we are ready for those rebate processes to come in. Austin did visit us and we put together our process protocol for that. So we are prepped and ready to go. In January 22nd, we are collaborating with the Kane County Sustainability Team on a celebration of farms in Kane County. We will be hosting a dinner at Emerald Acres, and that will be a barbecue. We will have a keynote speaker. Jim Stutz is a farmer who is also, he's got several PhDs who will be coming down to talk about, hey, let's bust some rural myths and understand that conservation practices can indeed have a positive ROI. Registration will open the beginning of December. We have room, I think, for about 40 people. Let's see, what else did I want to go through? Beyond that, I'd like to throw out there that we do have an election coming up in February of 2026 for our own board. We have 3 seats open. So far, I have heard back from 2 of the city incumbents that they will be running again, but we always welcome, we'd rather have a good representation of the horse race, and certainly please come out and vote. You know, it's not a part of the county's regular election cycle, so it's kind of wackadoodle. We will have voting at our office as well as at the DuPage County Farm Bureau location, because we do also represent DuPage County. Just closing, if anybody needs a 2026 calendar along with IEPA funds, we have been able to issue the other side of what we do on the urban development side, a calendar this year for best management practices in that arena. So I have 2026 calendars here with me today. That's all I have.
Great. Does anybody have any questions? Ted?
Who's able to vote for that board of directors? Anyone in Kane or DuPage?
Anyone in Kane who owns or resides in Kane or DuPage County can vote on ours. If you own or reside in a different county, then you can go to that SWCD election.
Thank you.
When is that election?
February 10th.
10th. Okay. And where's Emerald Acres?
Elburn?
Elburn. Okay. I'm sorry. Anybody else have any questions? No? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. All right. That brings us to our last partner, which is Rob Desario of Northern Illinois Food Bank. I hope you have good news for us.
Wow.
SNAP's extended, right?
Yes. I mean, that's good news, I think. And yeah, government shutdown's over, which is good. In that SNAP, I'm sure everybody knows, but SNAP was funded through, even though it was a continuing resolution. Oh, sorry. SNAP is funded through September. So in the event that we're in a shutdown in February, we're good with SNAP. So that's good. I should start by thanking, I know Chair Pirog hosted a roundtable with us. Congresswoman Underwood, Congressman Foster were there. And I know Madam Chair, you were there as well. And I thought it was great turnout, great. You know, we had a lot of great feedback from some leaders in Kane County, and some sad stories and some, you know, but just some reality. It's good. And I think it kind of underscores, you know, if there's a silver lining to all this that's kind of been going on, the response has been great. People care, you know, that this has resonated with people. I mean, we are talking about hunger. So I think it's pretty, I think that should be nonpartisan. But this has been great. I think like donors have responded really well to our, we have a community response fund. So we've been, of course, fundraising through this, and the donor response has been great. The media response has been great. The response from elected officials at all levels, I think, has been really encouraging. And so, we hope to sustain that as, I think that what happened with the government shutdown is kind of a prelude to what's going to happen in a few months. Still waiting for some clarification on when work requirements will truly begin. Kind of a short version of this, I think we've probably all heard the Rhode Island judge a few weeks ago ruled that the administration had to pay SNAP benefits during the shutdown. But another part of that was NHR 1 in the Big Beautiful Bill. There was a line in there where USDA could terminate work requirement waivers from states. They could terminate those early. Now, Illinois had one for years, which meant that people did not have to comply with work requirements in order to continue to get SNAP benefits. So they weren't subject to the 3-month time limit. Illinois' waiver was set to go through January 31st, which meant work requirements would have started in February. But the Rhode Island judge ruled that the administration was not allowed to terminate those waivers early. And so when the administration was challenging the ruling on SNAP benefits, that was much publicized about how they were, partial benefits or full benefits, and they didn't want to pay anything. And there was, a lot of back and forth. But in that, they did not challenge the ruling on the waivers. So to me, that tacitly says that they're accepting that, right? Now, I mean, of course, I guess they could, if states tried to honor those waivers, maybe there would be a challenge that came out of the administration. But we're still waiting on IDHS to get in, some interpretation from FNS. So I think kind of the short version is, if the judge's ruling holds, work requirements would begin in February. If it does not hold and it continues kind of as we have expected, then work requirements will begin in December. So still waiting on some clarification on that, and which has been a hallmark of the last 6 months, just hearing things and then waiting for interpretation to come down. But I think what happened this month is kind of a prelude of what is going to happen permanently in a few months. Next month, I'll have better county specific data as we're only a few weeks into, we're almost done with November, I guess, but our data kind of trickles in as we get it. But even October, I think in anticipation of November of people not receiving benefits, we were up over 10% in our neighbors served. So we served about 630,000 neighbors throughout our network in October. And through the first 2 weeks of November, that was up 26% over October. So October was already up 10% from September. And then November so far has been up 26% from October. And so, like I said, next I'll have better county specific data, kind of what we were seeing in Kane County. But I think that's kind of what it's going to be. And just some kind of other data. We have a food finder map on our website where people can, put in their zip code or address or town or, whatever kind of geographic indicator, and they could find pantries and mobile markets near them. So far through November, those searches on our food finder are up 389%. So people are looking for food. And again, I think what we're seeing here, I know the shutdown is over and today's the 20th, right? So IDHS said that all SNAP benefits for November would be paid in full by today. So even though, I think this is kind of behind us, I think this is a prelude to what is going to be a new normal, because this has happened before, in March of 2023, when the pandemic SNAP allotments expired, so where everyone was getting the maximum during the pandemic, maximum amount of benefits. When that expired and people went back to getting just what they qualified for, again, we saw like a 20% increase in neighbor visits, and they have stayed with us. So that number, it wasn't a temporary increase. And so again, I think this is what's coming. This is what's on the horizon, another increase that then that becomes our new normal. And I think thinking about that, thinking ahead, for us, there's 420,000 SNAP recipients in our 13 county service area. About 55,000 of those are in Kane County. And there's some math involved, but about 80,000 of our 420,000 SNAP recipients in our area are at risk of losing benefits once work requirements kick in. And about 10,500 of those are in Kane County. So that's, and that will be permanent. Again, that the shutdown was one thing. It was a bump in the road that was not fun, but I think we're looking at the permanent kind of cuts of SNAP benefits coming in. And but we appreciate all the support that we've gotten. I know that there's a big governor's grant that we've already spent. Our board authorized us to spend an additional $4 million just for November, just to cover November. So that's $4 million additional dollars that we had to take from our reserves to cover November, because the need was so great. And again, I'll have better Kane County specific data on kind of what happened during the shutdown. And then I think what we can expect going forward once SNAP, I think that picture will become a little clearer. I don't know if that qualifies as good news.
Yeah. Maybe, no. Little good news. So any question, Ms. Lewis?
Do you have a number of how many holiday boxes will be distributed between you and all your networks?
I can get that number.
Okay.
I do not have that number,
Okay.
but yes, I will get that.
And also, can you share, I'm with Marie Wilkinson.
Mhm.
We are seeing an incredible need for pet food.
Mhm.
And I know you guys are starting to work more on that. And people are just like shocked by that. But that's one of our biggest things is talking about the pet food need, because people, we all know that have animals, $70 a month for my dogs, and people just can't afford it. And so Northern Illinois Food Bank and all of us networks, we're really having to jump in there and fill that need too.
No, it's a good point. And that's, I think, something I would like to see us work on as the ancillary, I say ancillary, but the non-food related. I mean, we get lots of requests. I manage our SNAP team as well. And people are always asking about toiletries and diapers and formula and things that aren't covered by SNAP or that you might reliably find at a pantry. And that is our, that to me, that's one of our number one, because it's the second ask. It's food is the immediate thing. And then, pet food, toiletries, et cetera. And so, yeah, I hear you. And thank you.
Mr. Penesis?
I just wanted to get some clarification. I'm not sure if I heard this correctly. 55,000 SNAP benefit recipients in Kane County, 10,500 possibly losing their benefits?
Yeah. So with work requirements coming in, I think there are a certain number of those. About a quarter of SNAP recipients in Illinois will be considered ABODs, or able-bodied adults without dependents. So they will be subject to work requirements. And I think IDHS estimates that about 20% of those are already meeting work requirements. So they will be fine. They'll just continue on because they're already meeting the requirements. But that leaves about 80% of those, that ABOD population, who they could begin to meet those work requirements. They could, but, or they could fall off the rolls. So they're at risk of totally losing benefits, because with SNAP, if you don't meet those work requirements, you can get SNAP for 3 months out of a 36-month period. without meeting those requirements. So if I'm not, let's say I wasn't married with a child and I was just me and I lost my job, I could apply for SNAP, get it for 3 months. And after that 3rd month, they would say, you have to be working 20 hours a week, 80 hours a month, or you're no longer eligible for benefits. And we have not, we haven't lived under that. I think we've had this waiver statewide since 2016. I know that DuPage County didn't have it for a short time, but I think at least since then we've had that statewide. So this is new for everybody. It's new for IDHS. They're having to train, 4,000 caseworkers. It's new for us. It's new for everybody. So we're all getting reacquainted with these rules that have existed, but they have not been enforced.
And they're like sending communication to these people saying, hey, listen, you're going to be losing your benefits unless, right?
Last month, IDHS sent out a letter communication to all neighbors, identifying if they were in this category. And they also sent out exemption forms. So this is something that we're, that I'm encouraging my SNAP team to do is screen for exemptions. So some people can be exempt, right? I mean, if you're an able-bodied adult without dependent, so I mean, if you have a dependent, if you are unable to work through disability, or you're chronically homeless or some other thing that might get you exempt, that's the first thing we're screening for is, on our side, we want everybody to get benefits who's entitled to them. So the easiest way to help them, I think, or the first thing is, do you think you're exempt for any reason? And if they are, then, we're encouraging them to fill out that exemption form. So that number could shrink as people get, as I know they've already gotten tens of thousands of exemption forms.
That's a maximum, so it could be half of that. We don't know. We're in a new world.
We're in it. Yeah. I mean, this has never happened before. This is the largest cut to SNAP. We've never experienced anything like this before. So we're all guessing, and the numbers update as new things happen. And, but I'm in constant, I meet weekly with IDHS. And so I hope I can, continue to refine these numbers. That's what's been so hard about this entire process. I mean, from before this bill was passed, before the big, beautiful bill was passed, I mean, the different iterations of communication and understanding and rules have been, it's like they're changing weekly. And so that's just been this whole last 5-6 months. It's been interesting, I guess.
Thank you.
Mr. Leonard.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was very concerned when you were mentioning that the Northern Illinois Food Bank had to use 4 million of their reserves because of the SNAP problems. What is your remaining balance in the Northern Illinois Food Bank right now after taking that 4 million out?
I'm not sure that's a good question. I know we have several months we're required to have a certain amount, because we're a Feeding America food bank. I know they require us to have a certain number of months, maybe 6 months of operating costs in reserve, but I'm not sure. It's a good question. I could get back with that.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any other questions? I just want to thank you for hosting that roundtable. It was a sad event, but I left there feeling like you said, there's hope, that there's people that are stepping up and that are involved in passing the word. I know that we had kind of talked about maybe doing a food drive here, but I also heard that, us buying a can of tuna, you could probably buy 7 cans of tuna if we gave you money. So if we were to consider that, to have some type of a drive for Northern Illinois Food Bank, or even for the smaller pantries, what would that look like? Should we be asking for checks, or should we be asking for food and toiletries and pet food?
I mean, I think yes. But
That's helpful. Thank you.
no, but you're right though. I mean, our dollar does go a little bit further. And so that's always great for us, right? To get that dollar, like you said. But yes.
Okay, so we could just decide among ourselves what kind of drive we'd like to do, and if there's cash then, or checks, then we can, okay, all
I
right.
can, and I can get you in touch with my, we have a philanthropy team that does, kind of oversees these types of things. And I don't want to overstep them.
Right.
I can, get you in touch with
You
them.
guys want me to do that? Get in touch with
think
the.
that's a
I just
great
have a
idea.
comment.
And
Oh.
you're right. I was just at the Kiwanis meeting in Elgin 2 days ago. They talked about, you know what? You give us $1, that's equal to $7 for us. If you got cans at home that you want to donate, that's fine. Do that, but cash is king.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yes, I would like to get in touch. I don't know who had their hand up first, Bill or Anita.
Me.
We're gonna go with Anita.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
thank you.
Ladies
Just gave
first.
me a dirty look. So Anita,
Understood.
Anita's next.
So, speaking as food pantry, and I'm not speaking, you don't have to donate to Marie Wilkinson. I think, the food drives for the pet food and all those items, toilet paper, paper towels, cold medicine, aspirin, all those kind of things. If we wanted to do a food drive for that and give it to Sugar Grove, Batavia, our local pantries, because they can't, the food we can get from Northern Illinois Food Bank, for cheaper, or we can get it, we do a lot of food rescue, but those other things come out of the pantry's pockets. And the smaller food pantries, they don't have the money for that stuff. And, like, think about it, if you didn't have NyQuil next month when you needed it, or, I'm sorry, guys, sanitary pads or toilet paper, those things are they're so critical right now, and they're really expensive. So I would like to kind of see us go that way.
But I'm game with all this. Mr. Roth?
Thank you. Roth here. If Illinois Food Bank's capable, if they can do a QR code, then people don't need, we don't need to have them cash or checks. They make the donation directly to Illinois Food Bank. If we could also set that up with some of the smaller food banks, you could almost have pick your donation.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so.
So, but I
get
mean,
them in
talk
touch
to
with
them
me,
if
yeah.
they can do a QR code.
And then we'll talk and I know everybody does it during the holidays. I don't think it's going to kill us if we don't get it done until January, because I think the need is still going to be there. But
Yeah.
I really like the idea of doing the non-food items, the things that nobody thinks about. And I'm kind of jealous that you only spend $70 a month on your dog. So it's
Horses.
it's crazy. Well, we don't even need to talk about that, but I mean, it's crazy how much, how expensive everything has gotten. And I don't want people to have to give up their pets, and I don't want them to have to decide that they're not going to eat because they have a pet who's probably doing more for them than anything else could be doing it. So great. So we'll get that together. So I'll touch base if you can get me that. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Oh, Jared.
Do you guys have like a big annual fundraiser gala type thing? I don't feel like I recall Northern Illinois Food Bank having something like that. I know you have other fundraising type events.
Yeah, we have 4 big events throughout the year. I don't know that anyone is, I mean, one of them's like a golf scramble, and, we have kind of 4, but one of them is a sit down kind of, like a plated dinner type of thing. But I guess maybe no. I mean, right now we're doing we've been advertising, or they've been, we have something called a community response fund on our website, and that has been great. I mean, we have been, promoting that, and that has been really great. And so we've been driving people to our community response fund to kind of, get us through this time and prepare for what's coming.
All right. Well, it's
Madam
good to
Chair
know-
Bates,
promote
please.
that.
Mr. Sanchez, were you finished?
Yeah, no, I was saying that would be good to promote that, and at least the community response. Sure.
Okay. Ms. Bates?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would also like to thank them for having that excellent roundtable discussion. I went in thinking things were bad. I came out realizing they were much worse than I realized, but also with that hope of, everybody working together. I also said to Julie, gee, why don't you make a pitch right now while you've got 40 or 50 engaged people in the room? And one of the board members, Maylene, took me by the hand and took me up to the front desk to make a donation. So you've got some board members who are on the job. so, but thanks for everything you do.
No, thank you.
Thanks, Mavis. Anybody else? Mr. Shepro?
Yes, to that point, I was at a small luncheon the other day that had featured the executive director from the Northern Illinois Food Bank. And my impression is that she would be glad to come and sort of create your own event, and she would come and tell you some of the things that you've been talking about today. And we also found out, as bad as things are, we didn't realize how bad they were. It was very interesting. It came with a whole pamphlet guidebook on how to help the food bank.
Thank you. All right, anything else? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Moves us on to item 7, which we're super excited about. It's our Agriculture Committee 2026 goals discussion, which is also going to tie into B, which is the ordinance amending section 2.45 of the King County Code. I'm going to turn this over to Matt. He's going to explain the little work group that kind of came forward with this and how we decided on the goals we wanted to open up for discussion with the committee.
Thanks, Leslie. Good morning, everyone. So as Leslie alluded, we were recently given, all committees were given direction by the County Board Office to review and consider new goals for 2026. So these are goals that, reflect the policies, programs, initiatives of the county within the realm of agriculture. So we had the opportunity to meet a couple weeks ago, our planning team, along with the committee chair, and we discussed like a variety of topics, and we were able to, over the following weeks, kind of build those out into goal statements that I will take us through. If I can get the slides to advance. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Ah, there it is. So, yep, so I pretty much already covered this. So,
Leslie, is that your backyard?
No, I don't have chickens.
might be that might be Allgrass Farms.
It looks like all grass.
Yeah. So we'll just, I'm gonna walk through these draft goals real quick. But these are open for discussion. I mean, these can be amended. So this is, at the discretion of the committee to make changes, to make edits as needed. But we wanted to kind of put some forward to kind of get the conversation started and have some ideas to work with. So the first goal, this is related to the Farmland Protection Program. It states to oversee the implementation of Kane County's Farmland Protection Program, increasing total acreage preserved for farming, improving access to farmland for future generations, and exploring conservation strategies. So it's really rooted in just acknowledging the importance of the Farmland Protection Program, as well as some of the like emerging ways that we've been looking at this. Looking more at how different conservation strategies could be woven into the program. And there's, we've seen a lot of need in recent years with challenges related to access to farmland in general too. So I know that's something that Janice has been working on with the Navigator program, kind of creating resources and tools to help the next generation of farmers. So so this is the first one. I'd be happy to keep going. I can go through them all and then we could come back.
What's easier? Is it easier to go through all of them or to address each individual one?
I vote for individual.
Okay. Did you want to add something to
I
this?
don't really, I think promotion, do we want to say anything about promotion of the And because we don't really have anything in there about promoting this to farmers.
You mean communicating?
Communication, promotion, yeah.
Well, I mean, how many,
Marketing, I mean,
what percent of farmers are aware of the program in Kane County? 99%?
That is what percentage of farmers are aware of the farmland protection program?
It's a small farm community, so everybody is through word of mouth.
So that's not an issue.
No.
Okay. Then we don't need to worry about that.
Oh, I had two. I'm going to do Mr. Roth first.
Oh, no, do miss.
Do Mr. Arnold first?
Yes,
Okay,
he's
I'll
more
do
the
Mr.
expert than I
Arnold
am.
First.
The question I'm going to have to field by my board of directors is how does this affect the role of the Farmland Protection Commission?
Well, I mean, the commission will still be, is an advisory body, and that feeds into what the committee considers. I think this is just, placing continued emphasis on the program. And so, yeah, I don't know that this necessarily changes the way, the commission operates. I don't think that's really a consideration.
I think one of the things we did was we took what the original goal was and we skewed it for what our committee can actually have oversight over. And we kind of tightened up our language to actually more reflect what we were doing as opposed to what we said we were doing, but we actually were doing something different in practice. I mean, that's a good way to describe it, right? So we never talked about how it would affect any of our partners or any like the commission, because the intent was to gear it more toward how this committee can do oversight. So do you want to look into, maybe we could research that to see if that would be a problem, because that's not our intention. So your answer should be no, it's not going to affect that at all, but we can check on that just to be sure. Do you see that it would be a problem?
I don't know. That's the question.
Okay, well, we can definitely,
I think it's interesting because we all view language different ways and oversee the implementation. I would read personally differently than oversight of the implementation. But either way, any decision that the Farmland Protection Commission reaches is subject to review by this committee and approval by the King County Board. So again, since it's not specifically mentioned and it is an existing commission, somebody's going to ask me, what does that mean in regard to the role of Farmland Protection Commission? So
we just need another word for oversee.
well, the original said work in concert with Farmland Protection Commission and County Board. So maybe,
Collaborate on the
I
implementation.
have a question regarding that,
sure.
since Mr. Arnold brought it up. What does the commission provide, or what's their function? Do they produce something?
It votes on what properties are going to be
So
accepted.
they decide what properties
Right.
we're going to acquire. Okay.
Right, we don't.
So we need to be working with them, not as opposed to them or in a separate silo.
Yeah, no, we're,
And I think we need to say something like that, make sure
so can we, do you want to?
because we need to empower them to make their job easier if we can.
Okay, so why don't we,
We don't have to have an answer today.
no, why don't we
Okay.
kick around and see if we can keep our new things and kind of tie it into some of the older ones so that no one feels like we're changing things or we're just trying to make sure that the stuff that the actual staff is doing isn't what the committee does.
We don't want to be opposed.
Right, but we also don't want to have a goal for something that we actually have nothing to do with because it's a goal for staff. So we're trying to figure out how to get that aligned. So we will, that's a great question, and we will try to figure that out and bring that one back. Any more on this one?
Yes.
Yes?
You mentioned the goal, the staff has a goal. I see our job as the committee to help them, whatever we can do, what a limited help we provide, but we're gonna have to know what that goal is. Is it is it a percentage, number of acreage? And you don't necessarily make the goal, but you want to put a goal out there that you're not reaching it in January either.
Right, but I think you're putting a SMART goal on something that we don't have the ability to put a SMART goal on.
Well, we
Because-
do a little
well,
bit.
no, we don't, because we can't force someone to go into our program.
No,
And we can't, if a bunch of people want to come into our program and we don't have the funds available, then we can't. So this is a little more
well,
fluid than most of the things that
okay.
we do. I mean, but
Well,
we're all
here's,
hearing it. So if we can tweak that or whatever we
well,
can.
and here's my thought on that. Is there a waiting list currently?
Yes.
Is the waiting list growing every year
Yes,
or is
it's
it
growing.
shrinking or staying the same?
It's growing every year.
Okay. And I think we need to kind of, how can we help so it doesn't keep growing? And we may not be able to. I mean, we're getting all our funds from the riverboat, correct?
No, I mean,
We get my matching, but our matching part
Correct.
comes from the riverboat,
correct,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
And if you recall, Janice Hill was looking into seeing.
Other revenue sources,
Yes,
like
for Grant
grants and
County.
stuff.
Well, not just grants, but maybe increasing fees for applications, permits, whatever, and then taking that fee and putting it into our fund.
And there's loose legislation that's coming up and we're trying to
Right.
get on board with legislators for that. So basically our hands are pretty much tied with the money.
I
So,
understand that.
The money is what
But if
determines
staff's
how.
working, we're going to say staff,
Right, they are working. They're working.
Okay.
They've gotten how much money we actually
Right.
have and they're trying to find more money. And until that happens, we can't do anything else.
no, but we need to track it. Are we being?
We are tracking it.
Okay.
they-
But that should be reported as part of this goal then.
Do we want that every month? Do we want to know how much?
Well, and ask the staff, is it?
No, I'm asking you as the committee.
No,
Is
no, no,
that-
no,
Is
no.
that something we
But-
want every month?
I do if I don't want to make a lot more work for staff. If every month is going to be a hindrance because it doesn't change that much, maybe once a quarter. That's where we need to work together.
Just from the work that I have to do, and in a perfect world, it should take 2 years from the beginning of application to closing an easement. It's not
Realistic to do it monthly.
realistic to do monthly, yearly, or every 2 years either. Especially when we have to await the funding from the federal as well. And as you know, the government shut down, so I wasn't able
Right.
to move anything forward. There's a lot of factors. into
But then
that.
similar to KDOT, they're doing a 5-year plan. So maybe we report where we are in our 5-year plan or whatever is realistic to know, well, we're heading in the right direction.
Well, I think it's the way we've set up and who they report to.
Yeah.
They tell us when things are coming to a head. So I think that anything we do to we just wait until they tell us, I think is probably going to be our best way to do that. It's the most effective. It allows them to do their job without having to report to us minutia that
Yeah.
really doesn't affect us as a committee at all. And the only organization it would really affect would be the Preservation Committee. And I sit on that, Madam Chair sits on that, and our farmers sit on that, and staff is there advising us. So it's covered. But we can tweak and see, but
And part of the reporting is there's no change.
yeah, not everything needs a report though, is what I'm
Well, I'm
trying
not
to
saying it
say.
needs to be a
Yeah.
report, but just a comment,
Okay, so we can do that, right? If we have something in the works that looks like it's coming up like
Yeah.
we did the last, I think it was 2 meetings ago. We did that, so.
No, I'm not looking for more work, okay? Because you got enough to do already.
No, I do keep track of everything.
Okay, but
so at
just
any
then
time-
report that, you know, that, hey, there's no changes. Okay, thank you.
All right, so I can move on to the next goal. So the next one is specific to Growing for Cane, and it calls for the committee to direct activities aligned with the Growing for Cane program that support Kane County's food growers with funding, technical expertise, and policy improvements to make healthy, locally grown foods more accessible. So this is just in keeping with the intent of the Growing for Cane program, focused on increasing local food production, supporting local food growing farms, and making those locally grown foods more accessible throughout the community. So it's really driven a lot of the project work that we've kind of moved through this committee over the years. So this just tries to encapsulate that.
So we dropped pursue funding because the committee doesn't do that. So,
Which makes sense. I
Right.
agree with that.
so Ms. Allen, you have a question? Don't forget to use your mic.
Just for the good of the cause, I want to toss this in on my way in late today. I was listening to the radio, and there is a restaurant that's been open for 18 months on the west side of Chicago called Fell that just got its first Michelin star. And what is its claim to fame? Farm to table. So just wanted to toss in that we are all on the right track and we're looking for more Michelin stars.
I didn't realize Michelin stars was one of our goals, but we consider that. All right, any more questions on Growing for Cane? It's a very similar, just more of what the oversight that we can do. Right.
Is there, I'm just asking, is there any measurements or, and there again, is it over a 5-year period or, you know, there again, I'm not looking, but are we moving in the right direction is what we, as a committee should. And if it's a 5-year plan and we're not going to get immediate results, and I'm fine with that.
Well, I don't know, Ken, did you have a question?
I had a comment.
You have to talk in your mic.
Yes. Maybe everybody's already done this. If you haven't, I would encourage you to go to the 4th floor conference room and look at the map on the wall that shows you where all of the farmland preservation land is located. I've been around for a long time, and I think that was the first time last night at the Historic Preservation Commission when I realized where all of these farms are located. And if you haven't seen it, I think you might be surprised, and might be a good thing to circulate a small version of it to not only the committee, but maybe the entire board.
Yes, okay.
I think maybe people should just go up to the 4th floor.
Yeah.
Because it's hard enough to see stuff when we're up there.
It's over the last 3 years, it's been presented occasionally, and it doesn't need to be every month because it's not changing that quick. But, you know, like a running number of how many acres do we currently have? And what's our long range goal? Is it 99% of the farmland? No.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill, we usually have them at the meetings, the Growing for Cane updates. Matt usually does a little
Yeah,
presentation.
and that's all I'm asking.
Yeah, we
that should
already,
be-
we're not planning on not
I'm
doing
not
the
trying to
stuff
make
we
more
always.
work for you guys, believe it or not.
Okay. Any more comments about this? Okay.
Great. Okay.
Speaking of Growing for Cane, thank you, Miss Allen, for bringing in.
All right, so the next one is related to funding advocacy, and it calls for the committee to advocate for funding to advance initiatives that support thriving farm businesses and strengthen Kane County's agricultural sector. So as you know, a lot of the work that we've done as staff is looking for, new funding opportunities, finding new partners to work with that can be funding partners. So that's really been really instrumental to the work that gets done, is that funding component.
Is that provided by grants only, or are there other revenue sources?
It's primarily grants, I would say.
Okay.
We've relied on a combination of foundation grants. Federal grants have been most of the public agency grants that we've received in recent years. So you could also look at the in-kind contributions of partners that we've worked with. So their time, their staffing, their expertise. So, the funding is a big part of that. I mean, that really kind of moves.
Well, yeah, if we don't get
project work.
funding, we can't do much.
Yeah, so that supports all of our consulting work that we've done. So that keeps a lot of what we do moving.
Is that like what Ellen Camp does?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, which I think I love when she comes in because
That's one of the ways that the committee can actually do this goal is by
Right.
making sure we fund the positions.
Right.
And we recognize, the people that do these things, and then we hit our support systems and our relationships to try to either leverage for more money or for legislation
Well,
or things like that.
And so my question is, how do we know that we need to do that? If we're, in the current environment, aren't grants supposedly going down? I don't know, you read about that occasionally in the paper. Our job is to help break down any barriers we can, our limited authority on the board, but we need to know, are we heading in the right direction? Are we hitting roadblocks? And that's what I see our board job to
I think
be.
yes, on all of those, we are headed
Yeah.
in the right direction. We do hit roadblocks. We have very talented staff that
Of
does
course.
workarounds, and then they report to us when they've either been successful or they haven't been. And I think
Right.
that's basically what this is trying to
Okay.
do.
All right. I'm just confirming.
No, that's fine. That's
All
fine.
right. Thank you.
All right. Any other comments, questions, Mr. Penisys?
Just a question, and I'm not saying to take this word off, but what's the reasoning behind having the word thriving in there? Do we need thriving in there? And I'm fine either way, but I'm just wondering why we've got the word thriving farm business.
I think that's a requirement in agriculture. Otherwise, it's dying.
So that was really just putting emphasis on just the intent to support successful businesses. I mean, that's really what we strive for, is supporting businesses that are profitable, that are sustainable, that are in operation for several years. So that's just kind of putting some emphasis on that.
And helping them be more so if we possibly can.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking, from businesses that need help too, I mean, what are we doing to help farm businesses to be successful if they're not necessarily thriving right now?
And maybe it's just, it might just be a matter of changing the emphasis, but because the intent of that was to get like all businesses to the point of where they're thriving. So, so looking to businesses that aren't quite there yet, but also, helping businesses maintain that have achieved that success.
Change support to create.
Create. Okay.
There you go.
If I may be committed.
That way it doesn't limit it.
Permitted. Kat and I both spoke about the initiative of the University of Illinois Extension to possibly reacquire the research farm. And I think that speaks directly to this, but I'm not sure the way that is worded speaks, the way that that's worded speaks to that acquisition. So I just throw that out for your consideration, because I assume sooner or later, someone from the University of Illinois Extension is going to come in and report on their efforts and their initiative, and possibly ask if the Ag Committee can lend its support. So its goal is to help farm businesses to thrive, but it is not a thriving farm business. It's a acquisition for a startup, I guess. So it's kind of a unique situation, but this kind of talks to it.
Can we do something that said that support thriving farm business and practices? Because that is a kind of a pretty big umbrella that would also allow us then to expand on the no-till or the drone seeding and all the things that, I mean, we don't want to exclude something by a goal, but I don't know that we can put everything in a goal because a goal is a very overarching, you know, yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to cut anybody out. So maybe we can figure out how to address, well, but it's funding the it's funding. So I think that maybe we need something in there about not just on farm businesses, but also farm practices.
I agree with
Does that work
And then
to-
what Ken said as far as changing the word, so you're not limiting it,
Right.
create thriving as opposed to support, that doesn't limit it, you know?
I don't know that I like create there. That create. I don't know, let's.
All right.
I don't know that we're creating it. We're just a piece to help them. They're, you know, the individual farmer are creating. It's not our duty to make every individual
No, we're
farmer.
just advancing the initiatives.
Right. But when you put create in there, I think that makes it look like that we're doing that and we're not, we're supporting them. So maybe we need to find a different word than support, but I don't like create. Jarrett?
I'm just kind of
Able?
listening to
Able might
this.
work.
Just a
I think
suggested wording might be to advocate for funding to advance initiatives that support farm businesses and farm practices that strengthen Kane County's agricultural sector.
Take out thrive.
Give that man a pen.
Then putting
Okay.
that instead of and
Okay, so what are we doing? Advocate for funding to advance initiatives.
that support farm businesses and farm practices that strengthen Kane County's agricultural sector.
Okay,
That's easy. That's good.
okay. Does that cover it for everybody? No, Bill, it doesn't. Are you just being difficult or are you not happy with that?
No, I'm okay with
Okay.
that, but it's the same thing I challenged Chris on at the EOC, you know, for the development. Is there a way we could do a dashboard? I mean, Steve brought up this morning, you know, prices are down. You know, and you know, there's different things. And the dashboard, you know, you can have green arrows up or green or red arrows down. You know, if prices keep dropping, that's not good for farmers because what's the result? We have more farmers going bankrupt or
Are
whatever.
you suggesting a dashboard specifically for funding advocacy?
Well,
Because that's what we're talking about right now is this particular goal. We're not talking about all of our goals on a dashboard. We're talking about this. So if you're talking
well,
about
that's
it,
I would look to the staff to help determine what's a good way to communicate. You know, and it may be an overall dashboard and this part covers that goal and this one covers that one. Because the dashboard will very quickly say, all right, things are improving or things are getting worse.
so did you want it for
I'm
the,
just throwing it out as an idea.
for all of them, all the goals?
I would say if we can, all of them,
Okay,
because
so then we can move on from number
Yeah,
3 because
yes,
it's
yes.
11:38.
I know.
Okay, okay.
Okay, next one.
Put dashboard. Yeah, okay. Go to the next one.
Yeah, there's another meeting after this, isn't
Yeah.
All right, the next one is staff oversight. So this calls for the committee to provide oversight of county staff administering projects and programs that address the needs of farmland preservationists, agricultural businesses, food assistance organizations, and residents with limited access to fresh grown foods. So this is looking at just providing general oversight over the work that we do. So it's kind of a catch-all and just providing direction to us as staff and working with us to improve processes and implement these programs.
So that kind of gathers all the things that we thought were important, the farmland preservation, the agriculture business, food assistance, residents, local grown foods, all of our partners kind of went into that as a catch-all. And that's what our staff does anyway. And so this allows us to just have a placeholder for it. So it doesn't, our practice wouldn't be getting reports from them if that wasn't part of our goal.
Right.
Okay.
I'm fine with this one.
Yeah, okay.
Right, we do. Okay, the last one is raising awareness of agriculture, and it calls on the committee to raise community awareness of the value of agriculture in Kane County for providing economic benefits, opportunities for land stewardship, a sustainable source of healthy foods, and maintaining a historic rural heritage. So this is just, recognizing the value and benefits that agriculture provides and calling attention to the need for promoting that and making sure that that residents are aware of these values and benefits.
Nods on this one?
I agree.
Okay.
I think we need to communicate that because there's still a lot of people out in the county that aren't aware that agriculture is half our land.
Right.
I've even heard, and I won't name names, some board members question whether we should be concentrating on agriculture.
They did. So we wanted to make sure that that was an accessible goal.
Yeah.
For us. Okay.
It's like half of our county land wise is farms.
And we have it in
Most
every
people
one of
don't
our
know.
townships.
Yeah.
So. Okay, are we?
We're good.
We'll come back next month with the tweaks and stuff like that. Any more questions about this? Okay, this rolls into our change of ordinance, which is our last item before we put our reports on file. Which is our ordinance amending section 248 of the Kane County Code, the standing committees. We want to revise the language related to the Ag Committee to better reflect what we actually do. Because as you know, as time goes by and we do all those things, our practice actually changes and reflects more of our need. And so we want to tighten it up. So Matt, do you want to present the changes? Do you want me to present the changes?
This is
Be-
pretty.
Before we do, can we do the motion in second?
Oh, we could do that. We could do
Roth would
we
make
could
the
do
motion.
second.
Alan seconds.
Allison.
Okay.
After
You?
Jared seconds.
No, you got it.
So the changes that we put forward are relatively modest. The main thing we wanted to do was to put emphasis on the primary agriculture programs that Kane County oversees. So we included a line for providing oversight of the county's efforts to protect farmland and support local food access. So that's kind of a foundational piece of what the committee oversees. So we wanted to bring that to the forefront, make sure that that's front and center. And then just recognizing the prevalence of agriculture throughout the county. We added a line that this is a land use in all 15 townships of the county. And I think you're, good.
No, I didn't.
What was the question?
How many townships do we
Is-
have? 15 or 16?
15.
15?
Yes, they are. They used to be one.
So is that 15 or 16? Because I heard one of you say 15 and one of you say 16. 16's over here, 15's over here. We're at a tie.
If Geneva and Batavia are independent townships, then it's 16.
Okay.
But I don't know that they
If you
are.
look at a map,
They were
it's
at one
like-
time.
No,
They're all squares except.
Except for
those two.
Batavia
So
and
it's not-
Geneva, which are separated. But I know Geneva Township is very different from Batavia Township and they will tell you so.
Yeah,
So,
no, they're separated because they couldn't get
okay, so
along.
maybe we'll fact check
s-
16.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we had discussed about maybe one of the townships didn't have any ag left, so that's
Oh,
maybe it
that's-
was 15.
That was gonna be the question that I was gonna ask, because we'd have to change this if we lose, like, for example, Aurora lose the last farm that they have, or Elgin loses the last farm they had, then we're gonna have to change this.
Okay. Yeah, we think it's just a typo on.
Well, wait, but Mr. Pennis has had a really good point. Because this is an ordinance, every time we lose a township that will no longer have it in land use, we would have to go through the process of changing the ordinance.
Maybe we could say something like the overwhelming majority of townships.
What did we have before? Did we have anything in there? We didn't strike anything. We just added that, correct?
We
Mhm.
did, correct.
Maybe we shouldn't add that. Maybe, maybe we should find something that gives us the same meaning but doesn't tie our hands to a future ordinance change.
It is the largest land use.
We could do largest land use, because by the time that changes, I'll be long dead, so we'll be good. Are you guys okay with largest land
great.
use?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
all right. So we'll change, we'll redline our and is a land use in all 15 townships. We will add in and is the largest land use. And then, okay,
Changing 15 to 6.
we're striking that. We're not adding the townships at all.
Okay.
Yes, Miss Allen.
Except that this adds strength to say, if we think we have that as a land use, and probably Van Kerkhoff would be the guy to answer that, is the ag land use available in all 6 townships? It strengthens it. It says, we're thinking about this. So maybe we'll lose a farm, but maybe we'll gain a farm. So I think it should stay in for that reason.
Okay, what, Bill?
Yes, do we have to specify the number of townships? Couldn't we say use in all townships in Kane County?
There you go.
Not if it,
It's a possibility.
it's still not all, but we could have it as a land use in most townships.
Fine.
Yeah, that's something like along those lines.
Yeah, we
I
could do
would say in the
most.
overwhelming majority, but keep it simple, most.
Most, let's use most.
Yeah, not giving a specific number
Yeah.
keeps you away from having to amend it.
Okay, so we'll stick with it for the strength per Ms. Allen. We'll strike 15 and we'll add most. So we'll strike all and 15. So we'll have, and is a land use in most townships.
Good.
Are we good with that?
Works.
I found the maps. There are 16 townships, but
Okay, but we're not gonna,
I
right,
understand.
no, that was a really good point though.
We
is
only
it
care
is-
about most of them.
We only care about most of them, yeah, yeah. There's some we don't care
Care
about.
about, so I'm going to be very sad.
We just don't care about them, yeah.
I would vote, I like the other way of doing it, the largest, what was it that you said?
Land use?
Largest land use.
Largest land use.
I kind of like that one better because when we say most, it's like it is like most, it's like the overwhelming majority. It's all of them now, and it's going to be almost all of them into the future because it kind of limits us then. When we do say most, I kind of like that word at first, but now the more I think about it, I think it limits it.
To say majority.
Recognizing that agriculture is a leading industry in Kane County.
Throughout its townships?
At this point, I don't even know what we're talking about,
Yeah.
so, okay.
I like the largest land. use
Okay,
because
raise
it's
your hand if you like largest land use. It's
What's the
2,
other option?
3,
What's the other option?
I don't know.
most townships.
Most townships is our other
No,
option.
then I like the
I'm gonna go with most.
majority.
You're going with most,
Most. I'm a most guy.
and they're going with, I don't even remember what I just said.
Largest land.
Largest.
Largest land.
Okay, why don't we'll just put it in a hat, whatever you pull out is what we go with, and we'll talk about it next month. And we'll just,
I second that motion.
seriously,
I was just trying to correct the number.
I had no idea this was gonna be this brutally difficult.
I'm sorry, that was all me. I apologize.
Okay, so because it's an ordinance, we are not ready to send this forward to exec. So we will draft 2 different paragraphs, at which point you can all weigh in on which paragraph you like best. And then we'll send that forward in the January.
Or we
Exact.
could do the stairway test. Like teachers do. They throw your paper down, and if you get to the bottom, you get an A.
Yeah, I never did that.
Thank you.
I think we'll just do 2. We'll do 2 versions and we'll fact check our versions and we'll let everybody pick.
Mhm.
So make sure you guys are all here in December because we're gonna have a weighted vote. Okay. That's it though, right? That's on that. Those were our only changes.
When is our December meeting?
I have no idea.
Okay.
When it's
Close.
when it's scheduled.
It's really close to a holiday.
That's
so
what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I don't
if
know.
We're gonna get a,
It may be a January thing, which is fine. You're fine if it's January, right? Okay. All right. Do you guys got any comments that you want to make? No?
I did have one question.
Go ahead.
Okay,
No, go ahead.
Roth here. Is it this section of the ordinance we mentioned our partnership with the Farm Bureau? Because it is a partnership, right? They don't report to us, am I
So
correct?
This is our ordinance
I
as it's
understand that.
written, and all we did was add
I
the
understand.
lines. So
I'm just saying,
we
is there other part of the ordinance that mentions the Farm Bureau? Or they're just being nice and showing up?
This is the ordinance. So we had county agencies, municipalities, departments, and offices, and we tightened that up to read organizations.
Okay, so
because
they fall under there,
organizations covered more than the specifics that we laid out.
and that's fine. So that's covered under there.
Yes, they're covered under
thought that was
organizations,
just my
as is the food bank and the soil and water conservation and Mr. Kenyon, who left us representing farmers. Mr. Shepro?
Yeah, from a legal standpoint, I would strongly recommend against calling out specific other organizations. Because if they change or they cease to exist, I back having to amend the ordinance every time you want to
Yeah.
add somebody.
That's why we went with just the generic organizations.
And then the answer to Mr. Pennis's question, our next ag meeting is December 18th
Yeah.
at 10:30.
Tentatively, yes. I mean, I don't know if everybody's gonna cancel or not. I mean, I expect we'll be here for that, but if not, then yeah. It's a week before Christmas, but I don't know how people are gonna feel, but yeah. So we're gonna shoot for bringing these back for the December meeting. Okay, any more questions? No? We good? Okay, this is a rough meeting. All right, do we have any new business? Please, God, no. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Leonard.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Madam Chair, I think. I would like to just bring up a point that I would like the Agricultural Committee to consider. And that is, I'd like to look at us coming up with a policy or a resolution about the use of data centers in Kane County. I've done some research on that, and the Illinois Farm Bureau Resolutions Committee has already approved 2 county proposals about restricting the use of data centers. Right now, there are 200 in the state of Illinois. In Kane County, a data center can use as much as 3 million gallons of water a day. So there's a real concern, the additional concern about electricity and also the noise level. So if it would meet with the committee's approval, I would like to talk to the state's attorney about drawing something up for this committee to consider implementing, if that would meet with everyone's approval.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as long as it's limiting the data centers and not maximizing.
Not
so-
enabling.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're like all on the same page that we find them detrimental to our farmland.
It would be more of a restrictive
Great.
policy.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, that would be
And that
wonderful.
whole discussion happened in legislation yesterday.
Yeah, I
Chair.
heard it yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jared, did you have something you
Madam
wanted to?
Yeah,
Chair?
I didn't hear that conversation.
Mavis.
Hi,
Bill,
Dave,
is-
please. Since
Mavis,
these
hang
data
on.
centers are-
Mavis, someone else has the
Oh.
floor. Hang on.
Sorry, I thought you said go.
No, go ahead,
Sorry.
Jared.
Bill, is what you're talking about just in relation to farmland, or is it more like countywide? Is this more like a development committee thing?
It actually applies to both farmland and small communities.
Okay,
So it really applies to both,
okay,
but farmland is a key factor here.
yeah, right, okay.
And the Farm Bureau is in favor of this. So I think it's something we as an agricultural committee should consider.
Jared, did you have a follow-up? Okay, Ms. Bates?
Thank you very much. Since data centers are both about energy and the environment, I'd like E&E to help with this, any resolutions or data about data centers. I don't know how that would work, but I think we should be involved.
Well, I think that our first step is to present it to our committee and then follow whatever procedure the state's attorney tells us we need to follow. So I think
Okay.
it probably will end up at development for sure. I don't know if it'll end up at energy and environment, but of course, you're more than welcome to weigh in on it when Mr. Leonard, presents it to us.
Okay, because it's going to have to involve energy, the environment, farmland development. It's a big deal. So, okay, you and I can talk about how we can work together on that, I guess.
Okay. Anyone else? Ms. Allen?
I just wanted to raise the profile again to say that if we can properly use our riverboat funding for education, environment, and economic development, then maybe we would be able to put some money towards the research farm that Mr. Arnold referenced earlier today, because that would be both environment and education and probably even economic development.
So would that mean he would have to write a grant to the riverboat, which is
Application.
outside of ours? So Mr. Arnold, if you would like to write a grant for riverboat funding or have someone help you with it, to go for, have we done 26 funding yet? So that would be for 27 funding? I don't know much about the riverboat.
We have not done 26 funding
Okay,
yet.
so maybe, maybe either, Phil, you're on that committee, right? Could you talk with, Steve and kind of tell him what the timeline's going to be on that? And maybe they could put forth for that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Steve, I want to make you aware of the fact that the funds are becoming less and less every year. And we now are using about 80% of the funds internally, which this would qualify for. But my key focus on the riverboat is farmland preservation. And the reason for that is we get not quite, we used to, but not quite $1 per dollar matching fund. So we always try to maximize what they're applying for and apply that so that we get matching funds, so it doubles whatever we approve. So Steve, you're more than welcome to apply. We may or may not, I don't know, there's 5 people on the committee. It's whatever they decide to do, but I think it is worthwhile to apply for it.
I think it's a good cause and I have nothing to do with the Riverboat Committee, so it's not like I'm pushing one way or another, but I think that's a really good, I think it fits in with what the Riverboat does. I think it fits in with what we're doing here. Yeah, I think that's, and I'm sorry that I just gave you more work.
I will tell you that what I know about the initiative at this point is I was sent an email and asked to record a message in support. So I need time to get informed about who's leading the effort within the extension, what exactly the plan is. And I am more than happy to be a conduit at the very least, and let them know that the Ag Committee has suggested that a boat grant application go in. I know nothing about the timing. I hope to be retired before the application is due.
Well, we're happy to support anybody that you volunteer to do that. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Thank you.
okay. Anything else? Really? Ooh, okay. Do I have a motion, unanimous motion to replace
Roth
reports
will-
on file?
Roth would request unanimous approval of to place the reports on file.
Okay, we have no need for executive session. Do I have,
Rothwell make a motion to adjourn.
do I have a motion for adjournment?
Roth will make the motion.
Roth,
Sanchez seconds.
Mr. Sanchez seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you.